Hey guys, this is Taylor5877. I've been asked about some of my builds on my cards, and so I wanted to do a little run through of my roster, and I'm going to show you how I have them built and talk about a lot of the key cards you're going to need for raids and arena. So let's just jump right in. I'll start at Justice League Aquaman. He's kind of the support character in Justice League teams for the most part. I mean, he can do good damage himself, but typically you're wanting him to stay alive and be able to use his passive, just because the others are more equipped with better specials and things like that. So I've got mine built, and as I go through these, defense is usually a given on these. So I'm going to talk about the other things I have on these besides defense. Like for Aquaman, I've got some health and a good amount of damage, and I got 2 fast attack rolls. I'll show you the talents, which is about the best I could do, mostly defense, but I get 75% defense from the talents and just this gear. So it's kind of a neat setup on this guy. So I'll run through these. But typically when I play my Justice League team, I don't use him a whole lot. As far as his abilities, his second special is pretty good. And the third one you kind of just want to have built up for when you got a high combo. It's going to do the most damage when you've built up a combo over like 40 or something. So next character, like I said, I'm just going to go down my roster. Dr. Fate, totally support. Obviously you're using him to use specials for 2 bars less. So I've got him built to stay alive. He's all defense and all health. I don't use him a lot in the game fighting himself. Like I said, he's sometimes save a battle in the arena just by staying alive. But mainly I'm just using him for support. He's just kind of there. And you'll notice through my roster, I like playing with a lot of cards, so I've got a lot of cards to 40 gear, and I hadn't building them past there. So that's just kind of what I like to do. I like to use a lot, kind of keeps the game fresh. Cyborg. Next character is Cyborg. Now he's a key raid character, and it's kind of nice that he's available in the arena store, so everybody can get him whether you had been here for the Justice League promotions or not. He's kind of available to everybody. But with his passive, the 300% basic damage, I mean, it's just crazy some of the damage this guy can do in raids. And the way I've got him set him up, I got to set him up with a fast attack build. So I've got some attack on him, but a lot of what I've got's in fast attack, and you'll see that as I go through my gears here. And I like it because when you use him in raids, he and Justice League Flash particularly can do a lot of damage in those levels where you don't get many crits or none at all. Like Captain Cold in Phase 2, this is the guy doing the heavy hitting in it between him and the Flash. And as far as abilities, his SP2 and SP3 are good to build. SP2 obviously for power draining, and SP3 you'll use some just when you got a high combo built. It's going to be your special that does the most damage. The next character, Justice League, the Flash. He kind of opened the whole community's eyes up to how useful fast attack is, because he gives his teammates an extra hit every time they do a fast attack. So instead of doing 2 hits, they're going to do 3, and you get all that damage. So when you do fast attack builds on your Justice League characters, the damage starts to add up quick, especially when you can add crits on top of that and all that. But Justice League, the Flash himself, he gets an extra hit on top of what the teammates does. So every hit that fast attacks, you get 4 hits, and you can just do some crazy damage with him. And you'll see I've got some attack on him, but you'll see builds in the arena where they have way less than 20,000 health and just a ton of attack, and then those type cards just take out people fast. But for arena, right now with my comfort level with the card, I've got a little more health than that. But you'll see I'm mostly fast attack and a couple of attack rolls. Say that if I, yeah, there's one. There's two. But he's a great card for doing damage. He really piles it up fast, and on the specials, nothing really sticks out as one you have to do. I like upgrading these guys special 3s, just because when you got that big combo, it's going to do the most damage. Because it seems like in the fights and raids, you're focusing on basic damage and just using a special when you have to with these guys. Next card I got Supergirl, and this is totally an arena build.
Supergirl.
She's a lot of fun, but I've not found her to be that useful in raids. And the way I've got her built, just I maxed out her crit damage, and basically after that it's just health on the gears. But it's a lot of fun when you trigger her passive. And it can do really good damage in arena and in raids, but in my opinion, unless you really build her with attack and really focus on using her, she's not a great raid card. But the specials that I think need to be upgraded, obviously the 1, because it's damage over time, which is going to be armor piercing, and then for raids, the special 3 is particularly strong when you hit that on a triggered passive with a pretty high combo, which is easier said than done. Next card's one of my favorites, Mythic Wonder Woman. I had her built before the rest of the Justice League came out, so I built her in the days where crit ruled. So she's got a typical crit build with a little bit of extra attack, but near max crit chance and crit damage. And I'm sure you've seen my other videos if you're watching this, so you know I really like the Might Shield cards, her in particular. You can really get an opponent cornered where they really can't do anything, because if they jump one of your down swipes, you just throw the shield at them, you reflect it, and then you start again with your combo. So these guys are really good in the corner. And I really like using her like that. And as far as her specials, I like, obviously her special 1's really good, especially in arena. Obviously you need to upgrade the shield, and her SP3 does good damage. I don't like the way it resets you when you use it, because you kind of get backed away from the opponent. So you'll see in fights I like to use the 1, because essentially the way you keep fighting after it, it works almost like your combo ended. So it kind of keeps you in rhythm, and I like that. Justice League Batman is a good one, especially on I like him on the Brainiac phases, when you're using it on phase 1 and phase 2, especially in tier 6, just because those guys do so much damage. So he lets every character on the team tank 1 special, and that's really nice. And also the way it happens, you get set up to start a combo immediately after you don't take any damage from the special. So that's another nice thing about the way his passive works. Now I've got a pretty balanced build on him. I've got some crit chance, some attack, and then I've got over 50% fast attack on him. So this is kind of one of my more balanced cards. I can use him. He's good against the sub bosses where you can do some crit, or against, like I said, phase 1, phase 2. And it's just kind of how the rolls fell with this card. So go through and show you what's on the gear. And nicer raids, they dropped me a 60 right there. As far as the specials go, obviously if you use 1, you get armor piercing for 5 seconds. But in raids, you're going to use probably the SP3 more than anything, like the rest of them. I mean, you'll have a big combo built up, and you kind of got to use a special somewhere once you get over 40, since it doesn't keep continuing to increase the damage of these. It caps at 200%. So next character is Flora Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy.
I haven't done a lot with her. She's really fun in the arena, but I've not found her to be that great in raids. Yeah, she's decent against Captain Cold and the other sub bosses, but she's not a card that's kicking out 800,000 plus damage on my pips. So I haven't really done much with her. She's got a balanced build, but real fun in arena, and her basics are really good. I mean, if you do upgrade her, she can really take some fast attack well, the way her basics work, because she's kind of got an extra hit per combo than anybody, and they're really smooth too, so that's nice. But you can see just kind of the general, the old way to do a crit build. And like I said, I like her, but not one of my favorite raid cards. And on the Predator Batman, now this is a guy who does some heavy hitting in raids. Mine's only 40 gear, so it's not as good as it could be. There's guys kicking out 2.5 to 3 to, I've seen up to about 3.5 million damage pips with his special 3 and high attack builds. Mine's got some attack, decent crit chance, pretty good crit damage, and just kind of what I could get out of 40 gear, and feel comfortable for me keeping them alive. But you'll see guys doing crazy damage that'll have up to like around 4K attack, almost maxed or max crit chance, and crit damage as close to 3 as they can get it. And the strategy you use there is kind of a little different than arena, where you're using 1 or the stun bomb more. And in the raids, his special 3 seems to do more damage than it's supposed to. And like I said, when you do that high attack build, I mean, you may hit 400 to 500,000 damage on one good SP3 that you set up. So the strategy is kind of to have a combo builder with him, tag him in SP3, tag back your combo builder. And for the combo builder, you see Speed Force Flash and Blade Master Robin, and you'll see as I go down, I use Speed Force to Flash for that. There is an infinite combo with Blade Master Robin in the corner, and for the life of me, I can't get the inputs right. So on to my next card, the one I use for combo building for Predator Batman is Speed Force to Flash. Now, he can do decent damage himself, but I'm finding that's just not the way I wanted to use this card. So how I've got him set up is just health, fast attack, so I get the extra hit, so I can build a combo faster. And like I said, I use him to tag the Predator Batman after I've got a combo built over 40. And he's great because his passive gives him 30% fast attack, and his gear bonus adds another 10. So you only need 35% more on the card to fully max out the fast attack chance at 75. So a lot of times the way you play Speed Force to Flash, if you start from like the left side of the screen, you get a combo started, you combo, dash, combo, down swipe, that knocks your opponent away. You dash, combo, down swipe, dash, combo, down swipe, and you can keep a combo going where the opponent really can't do anything. So it's a neat card to use for that. It works really well.
Supergirl.
Next card's Powered Supergirl, and this is a heavy crit and damage build on her, but I have not had much luck with her in raids. Good card for arena. Obviously you want the crit chance, so you trigger her passive, and crit damage just goes with that, so it kind of lends itself that you're going to build with high crit chance and high crit damage. But like I said, I have not had good luck with her in raids, mainly because of her just how long her special 1 takes. Because in arena it works really good. I mean, you're not really worried about how much damage you can do within 3 minutes. You're just worried about defeating the opponent, and she works great on that. But the damage per time is a little slow for raids. But you probably want SP1 and SP3 developed on her. And I'll go through my build, and you notice I'm not showing talents. I'm not real particular about wanting an epic for everything. I think it uses resources. It's kind of an inefficient use of your coins. So I'm not showing those because the the effects you need on your gears are going to vary by what talents you use. And it's so hard to get the exact talent you want. So it's just not something I'm going to say this card needs defense rolls, crit damage rolls, or that. A lot of talents is just working with what you got. Now we get to Starfire, and she's one of my favorite raid cards. She works really good against the Scarecrow boss, and it makes a really easy fight because she's healing the whole time anyway with her hero advantage, and she's going to heal a good bit every time he uses a special. And that damage lets you use, that fight lets you use crits. So I've got her built with a crit chance and crit damage build. She's a high attack character as it is, since you get 15% from her gear effects. And so on that boss, she ends up being a pretty high damage card. Show you this. I'll show you why this gear is 55. I got 3 crit damage rolls on that, so that's why I upgraded it there to max out that crit damage at 3. And then in the fight, I used her special 3 mostly, so that's the one I've upgraded. But if you see my other videos, she's a really good card for that boss, and it makes a really easy fight. She's definitely worth, if you got her 5-star or even 4-star, she's definitely worth taking to 40 gear to get an easy fight at a Scarecrow. Next card's Mythic Queen, Warrior Queen, Wonder Woman, Mythic Queen. Yeah, Mythic Wonder Woman's one of my favorites. So, but Warrior Queen, she's got the hero advantage in phase 2, and she plays just like all the rest of the Wonder Woman. So I really like this card for corner and Brainiac, to where you're just pounding him in the corner and he keeps jumping into your shield, and which is nice when that's not disabled. So you kind of got to get lucky. But I've got her mainly with a little bit of attack and some health, and not much else. You'll see, got all defense, health, and attack. 1 fast attack roll, and then I've also got this extra 40 gear that I use sometimes. It gives me 22% fast attack for replacing 2 of these health rolls. Oh, sorry to get out of my roster there. I'm not going to talk about Primal Swamp Thing. I built him for threat purely, and he is just there to stand there and take a beating. Yeah, that was one of my early cards to develop, and the only thing I did that card for was to get a 340,000 threat team. Next card is Lanny Armor Aquaman. Now, he's a raid. This guy is one of the raid MVPs. He's one of the cards you need to have built. It's the fight he can do with Dr. Fate and John Stewart Green Lantern in phase 3 is one of the most important in raids, and he also works well in phase 4. But phase 3 is just tough with those hazards. And it's kind of hard to get some of the other better damage dealers to do anything well. You can play him in the left corner and just keep hazards down in that team. And Brainy can't do he's not going to be able to do a special, and you're just going to continue to do damage with the hazards. But and so the way you fight on that, you don't need a lot of health with him. So mine's only at 40 gears pretty much, and I've got a pretty good boosted attack, nice crit chance and crit damage. And he's kind of one of the cards that's really worth, if you're going to upgrade 1 to 60 gear for raids, this is one to consider. Because as you upgrade all that to max and are able to put some more attack rolls on there as you move from 40 to 60, it just increases his damage. And like I said, it's on a fight where you really can't use much else. So those are my more important raid cards. You can see I haven't done a lot with the Multiverse team. I've got them all 5-star. I don't do a whole lot with them. I do use Flash for his passive some. He's good to add crit damage like to that Predator Batman. But within the Multiverse team, all these guys' passives let you do some things with cards that you can't do otherwise. Because like Supergirl, she gives a team 15% defense. you could build all these cards. It's not real good for arena, but for if you wanted to build just for raids, all you got to build the rest of your multiverse teammates to is 60% on their defense. Well, that and Flash's passives lets you free up other things to add, say, fast attack or more crit damage, but it just adds a lot of freedom into the builds. And you can see I've got all the silver supports at 5-star. Captain Cold's a good support in raids just because of crit resistance. He's really good using on the Dr. Fate boss. Horrific Scarecrow is a great support and can be a decent damage dealer himself, but I haven't really done much with a card. He's support for me. Multiverse Green Arrow is a really good one to build for raids, especially for Phase 4. And these Multiverse characters also, they're kind of like Predator Batman. All their SP3s are a lot stronger than you think they would, and none are highlighted more than White Canary. Her special 3 on even just a 40 gear build with decent attack. You can see some other videos. I've seen one from Tylo on YouTube that that SP3 just does crazy damage. And Silver Batman's a good support. Also, his special 3 is really strong, just like Predator Batman, so that's another one you can build. Bane is a key support, adding 30% crit chance that you can have a card like, say, was built with a lot of fast attack, but doesn't have a good crit chance. You can add Bane to that and get good crit damage out of a card by having him there. Silver Green Lantern's a neat support. It's kind of nice because the shield, it doesn't have defense, so when you're in arena on high levels, the shield goes away faster than you think it would. But it's really good because you just basically ignore the damage while it's on. It's good for like a Might card pushing somebody in a corner at the start of a fight and things like that. But it's a neat card to play around with. I've got him, but I haven't done much with him. John Stewart Green Lantern, that's a card you gotta have. The
Green Lantern.
Ignore the hazard secondary effects. That's just crucial for Phase 3. And he also adds hazard damage and decreases the damage from incoming hazards. And he's a good card on his own. So I've gotten lucky and gotten 2 drops from raids to get him to 4-star. So as soon as his gear starts dropping, that's probably one I'm going to build. I use the Flash. He's really good for if you take his gear off and sacrifice him, like on the Horrific Scarecrow battle, you've added 20% fast attack chance to your team. So he's a really good support. I use him with my Starfire. Ace Green Arrow he's not as good in my opinion as Multiverse Green Arrow in the Multiverse team, but he's got the neat option when you tag out, you can power lock. So he kind of lets a team in Phase 4, gives it a little options where you can buy yourself some time between having a power drain Brainiac. Black Lightning's a neat card that I haven't had much time to use. The way his hazard traps an opponent, and you can there's different strategies to keep it going, but you can see I just hadn't had time to do much with him. Silver Robin is one that's really good for as your combo builder for like a Predator Batman. He's kind of neat when he's teamed with Speed Force the Flash, excuse me, not Speed Force, Justice League the Flash. The way his fast attacks do an extra hit. Well, his passive, you also get the chance to count as two combo meter hits. It doesn't add damage, but it's going to help you build a combo faster. So with Justice League the Flash, when his passive triggers with a fast attack, and I forget the math on this, but it actually going to add 6 hits to your combo meter. So he's kind of a cool character for being able to build a combo quick. But you can see I haven't had the resources and time to do much with him. Silver Aquaman is one that you definitely consider building. It's tough to get shards of that guy. Man, they need to add a level to his to the campaign to add shards, to be able to add shards for him. But he can do the same things that Lanny and Armor Aquaman. You just won't heal when the hazard's down. And you can see his passive also when he's teamed with Might and metahuman characters. He had some options. I mean, that team defense, you teamed him with 2 metahuman characters. Even at 3 stars, they only need like 50% defense for that to be max. Well, that would, if you really wanted to use that, you could make some interesting builds. And as far as the characters in the roster, I think those are the main ones that deserve a mention for the arena and raids. Anyway, that's a run through my roster and how I use cards and some of my thoughts on things.